Hey family, I'm just wanted to share with something from my heart with you today. If these short video messages speak to you, would you do me a favor, just a little favor? Like it, subscribe it, leave a comment, and most of all, share it with someone you love. Your family, your friends, your community, your networks. Let's keep this message moving. Thank you so much. I know some of y'all are doing it already, and I appreciate you. And I appreciate your time, and I'm truly grateful for your support. Let's get to it. A few minutes for us, underdogs and strugglers in the Bible. Could it be that your trials aren't endings but entrances, stepping stones to something divine? What if each closed door was God's way of opening a path of destiny greater than you ever dreamed? My name is Tony Lewis, y'all know that, and here I'm again, and it's my plum-pleasing pleasure to share with you today a few minutes for us. The U is for underdogs and the S is for strugglers in the Bible. I know we got struggles, but yet we can relate and connect too, right? Today, we will give you a snapshot of a scriptural character, the story in a picture, the struggle principle, the success principle, the lesson to practice. And you know I always say we got to do something, of underdogs and strugglers in the Bible. Let me tell you about the 20th biblical character. We're moving right along, ain't we? We will look at today is Jonah, the jailed in a fish, but justified. The jailed in a fish, but justified. His story is in Jonah chapters 1-4. He was a runaway prophet. Getting up, y'all. God gave him a mission to go to the city of Nineveh. He refused, said, I ain't going, and didn't respond rightly. He didn't want to obey, but he boarded a boat and ran into opposite direction. He was stopped by a storm that God sent to catch his attention. He was swallowed up by a big fish, y'all, and that saved him from drowning. He prayed and repented from a pit of the belly of a big fish. He was in there with seaweed. He had a second chance. God gave him another opportunity. He obeyed and offered a warning. He finally went to Nineveh and preached. Let me tell you about this brother's struggle. He fought against God's plan. Really, his arms are too short to fight with God. He disobeyed the divine because he didn't like God's assignment. Oh, you been there? He feared the bad folk in Nineveh. He didn't want those mean, nasty jokers to be saved. He said, not on my watch. He wanted God to burn them up. Just burn them up, God. He fled from God's faithfulness. He tried to escape from God's presence. What? Where you going? Where you going, Jonah? He faced a furious storm. In other words, God's nature responded to his rebellion. He told some folk to throw him into the sea. His stubbornness led him to some dark places. Oh my goodness. He was gulped up by a big fish in there for 3 days, long time. He was frustrated by God's favor, and he was mad when God forgave others. Let me tell you about his success. He prayed with purpose. He cried out to God. He preached with power. He shared God's message. People paid attention. They listened and turned from their sin. He pleased the provider. God was happy with the changes he made. But what's the lesson? What's the lesson? God's grace is greater than disobedience. God's grace is greater than disobedience. So remember when you struggle and wrestle and run from God's plans, when you are afraid to accept the assignment where God is giving you and leading you to, when you flee from the faithfulness of God, where you going? And avoid obedience, thinking your plan is better than his. Oh, I've been there. When you are fighting through the storm that God allows to correct you and direct you, my God, When you are found in a fishy place that God uses to reverse your rebellion, when you are frustrated by God's favor because he showed mercy on somebody you wanted him to get him, God, get him. When you are pouting in the process and you're bitter when God blesses beyond our boundaries, remember when you succeed. Remember when you've prayed with passion and your brokenness was brought you back to belief. When you've proceeded with pain in the deep and have learned to depend on God. When you've participated in God's grace and his mercy flows through even when you didn't feel like it. When you're back on track, preaching with purpose, and the people are persuaded, you hear what I'm saying? And your obedience sparks revival in your own life, in your family's life, among your friends, in your community, in your church, in your classroom, on your job. Remember the lesson. God's grace is greater than disobedience. God's grace is greater than disobedience. To God be the glory. I'm out, y'all.